Hey there. Did you know scientists spent many years studying the tiny island of Ikaria to find out why people there simply live longer than most? They found many secrets, but one stood out: a specific ingredient found in every centenarian's kitchen. It's not a supplement, it's not olive oil, and you probably already have it in your cupboards. Let's look at why this one staple is the ultimate anti-aging lunch. I began researching blue zones because I wanted to live to 100. I started because I noticed a pattern. Men in my family were strong in their 40s, slower in their 60s, and struggling by their 70s. Digestive discomfort, fatigue that lingered, muscle quietly disappearing. Afternoon naps stretching longer each year. And the phrase we kept hearing was, "That's just normal aging." But something about that word, normal, didn't sit right with me. Normal doesn't always mean natural, and it certainly doesn't mean inevitable. If decline is common, that doesn't mean it has to be universal. And that realization changed everything for me. So I began studying the places where aging didn't follow that script. I read interviews from researchers who lived among centenarians in Ikaria. I studied dietary patterns in Sardinia. I combed through nutritional comparisons between long-lived populations and the standard Western diet. And what surprised me wasn't complexity. It was simplicity. The secret wasn't rare. It wasn't trendy. It wasn't expensive. When researchers walked into the homes of 90 and 100-year-olds in Ikaria and Sardinia, they examined everything: water quality, genetics, air, activity levels, sleep patterns, social structure. They expected to find something extraordinary: some rare plant, some hidden mineral, some exotic food no one else had access to. Instead, they walked into kitchens and saw clay pots on the stove, pots of lentils simmering slowly, chickpeas soaking in bowls of water, white beans cooking gently with herbs, legumes, not occasional, not labeled superfoods, not packaged for marketing, just daily food. In Ikaria, many elders eat lentil soup or chickpea stew for lunch almost every day. In Sardinia, fava beans and white beans are staples, eaten consistently across generations. Yes, beans. The humble kind sitting in your kitchen right now. Eaten every day, not once a week, not on special occasions, not promoted as anti-aging, just normal food. And that pattern appeared again and again across long-lived regions. Legumes weren't side dishes, they were foundations. And foundations are what you build a life on. So why lunch? This is where it becomes incredibly relevant for us. And in these communities, lunch is the largest and most nourishing meal of the day. It's eaten slowly, often socially, sometimes outdoors, followed by light walking or even a short rest. Meals aren't rushed. They aren't eaten in front of screens. There's rhythm to it. And when you place nutrient-dense, slow-digesting food at midday, something powerful happens. You create metabolic stability for the rest of the day. Legumes digest gradually. Instead of spiking blood sugar and triggering a strong insulin surge, they release energy slowly and evenly. For seniors, this is critical. Have you ever eaten lunch and felt exhausted an hour later? That heavy-eyed feeling, that mental fog, that urge for something sweet. That's often a blood sugar spike followed by a drop. That crash isn't just uncomfortable. Over time, repeated spikes and crashes stress the body, and this pattern is one of the hidden drivers of accelerated aging. Let's break that down. When you eat refined carbohydrates or processed foods at midday, blood sugar rises quickly. Your body releases insulin, then blood sugar drops, energy drops, focus drops, mood drops. That 2 p.m. crash many people experience, that's not weakness, that's chemistry. And when that cycle repeats daily for years, it increases inflammation, insulin resistance, and metabolic strain. Legumes interrupt that cycle. Instead of a spike, you get a slope. Instead of a crash, you get steadiness, clearer thinking, sustained energy, fewer cravings, better metabolic balance. Imagine finishing lunch and still feeling stable 3 hours later. That stability reduces strain on the pancreas, reduces inflammatory surges, reduces the internal stress that quietly accelerates aging. And as we age, our bodies become less tolerant of instability. Steadiness becomes strength. But blood sugar is only one layer. Legumes contain 3 powerful components in one simple food: fiber, plant protein, slow digesting carbohydrates. That trio is rare in modern meals. Fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Protein supports muscle preservation. Slow carbohydrates provide sustained fuel. When those 3 work together, they create something I like to call metabolic harmony. Not stimulation, not intensity, harmony. And harmony is something you see repeatedly in long-lived communities. Now let's talk about something often overlooked: your gut. Your gut isn't just about digestion. It's an immune organ, an inflammatory regulator, a communication system linked directly to the brain. Researchers increasingly recognize that gut health plays a major role in longevity. Legumes are one of the richest natural sources of soluble fiber. When gut bacteria ferment this fiber, they produce compounds that reduce inflammation and strengthen the intestinal lining. In simple terms, fiber feeds the system that protects you. And many seniors are unknowingly fiber deficient, which contributes to constipation, elevated cholesterol, blood sugar swings, low-grade inflammation. Legumes gently correct that imbalance, not aggressively, not artificially, just steadily. And aging well isn't about dramatic interventions. It's about quiet consistency. Now let's talk about muscle. After age 60, muscle loss accelerates. This process, called sarcopenia, affects strength, balance, and independence. And muscle isn't about appearance, it's about function. It's the difference between confidently climbing stairs or hesitating, between lifting groceries easily or asking for help. Many assume large amounts of animal protein are the only solution. But blue zone populations show another model: moderate, consistent plant protein. A cup of lentils contains roughly 14 to 18 grams of protein, plus magnesium for muscle contraction, potassium for nerve communication, iron for oxygen delivery. And because that protein is paired with fiber, digestion is slower and gentler. The body absorbs nutrients without overload. Consistency beats excess. Rhythm beats intensity. And rhythm is what sustains independence. Now consider mental clarity. Many seniors notice afternoon fog, slower recall, energy dips, cravings for sweets. Again, blood sugar stability plays a role. Legumes have a low glycemic impact. They prevent sharp glucose swings. Stable glucose supports stable mood and focus. In Ikaria, rates of cognitive decline are remarkably low compared to many Western populations. Legumes alone aren't magic, but combine stable blood sugar, lower inflammation, healthier gut bacteria, sustained energy, and you create an internal environment where the brain thrives. Clear thinking isn't luck. It's supported biology. Here's what makes legumes extraordinary. They are accessible, affordable, shelf-stable, flexible, adaptable to nearly any cuisine. They don't require perfection. They don't require moving to Greece. They don't require expensive supplements. And because they're simple, they're sustainable. Longevity doesn't come from extreme behavior. It comes from repeatable behavior. Beans are repeatable, and that's powerful. So how do you begin? Not by changing everything. Start with lunch. 3 days this week, replace your usual lunch with a legume-based meal. A lentil bowl with olive oil and herbs. A chickpea soup with garlic and carrots. White beans with leafy greens and whole grains. Cook once, eat twice. Notice what changes: energy, digestion, hunger patterns, mental clarity. Your body responds quickly to stability. Small experiments create long-term habits. Small steps, big impact. When I began researching longevity, I expected something dramatic, something revolutionary. But what I found was quieter. The people of Ikaria don't chase longevity. They don't obsess over it. They cook it in simple pots, in quiet kitchens, at midday. And the secret? It may already be in your pantry. The difference between normal aging and supported aging may not be extreme. It may simply be daily. And daily habits are something we can control. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who deserves a long, strong life. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I love bringing information that helps people, and I'd love to continue doing that. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.